I'm George Crump, lead analyst with Storage Switzerland. Okay, when we look at Hyper-V, we're seeing a hypervisor that's growing rapidly in adoption, especially in the small to medium-sized data center. And one of the reasons is it's very, very cost-effective to deploy compared to some of the other hypervisors that are on the market. The problem is, though, that this cost-effectiveness also creates some challenges as we try to roll out a more traditional storage architecture. So in a typical environment, when we're talking about virtualized servers, one of the big things we want is a shared storage device so that we can do things like virtual machine migration as well as other type of capabilities. The problem is, of course, shared storage can get to be pretty expensive. And remember, one of the reasons we were looking at Hyper-V is because of its cost effectiveness. So we need to look at other ways to do that. And one of the ways to do that is to not use shared storage, but to instead leverage the hypervisor itself and install software up here. Now, you may recognize that as software-defined storage where we're running a VM or something like that as a instance in the Hyper-V architecture. A lot of times, the software will still require some sort of shared storage, so we still have that problem. And the second problem is a lot of these VMs and software products that do that are really running some form of Linux. And this is, for most small to medium-sized data centers, they are a pure Windows environment. So introducing Linux or something else into that environment just doesn't make a lot of sense, increases complexity to a degree, and requires that the administrators learn more than just Windows. So what might make more sense is to run something that is native Windows, and so it doesn't require a special VM. It just kind of goes right in at the hypervisor level here, and then have it integrate into the environment. So now you're running a native Windows application into basically a pure Windows environment. So it becomes a lot easier to manage and monitor and operate. The second thing is we got to keep costs down. So we don't want to go to shared storage if we don't have to. So the way we do that is let's leverage the internal capacity of each of these servers, and then let our storage software aggregate a virtual volume amongst these drives. And now that saves us a lot of money because number one, we're leveraging the probably excess CPU potential at the hypervisor level to run our storage software, and we're leveraging internal, probably server class hard drives and maybe SSDs, flash drives, which are significantly less expensive than the type of drives you're going to typically put in a more traditional shared storage system. So that's the second thing, is give us the ability to leverage what we have there. Again, in that small to medium-sized data center, there tends to be excess CPU resources, and there tends to be excess slots for capacity inside the servers themselves. So that's the second thing. The third thing is I need some choice. Many of the software-defined architectures out there today require the combination of flash and hard drives. In many small to medium-sized data centers, a hard drive-only system may be all they need. Or they may need just a little bit of SSD on a few servers to act as a cache. Well, again, since this is native Windows, we can use a Windows certified caching software to achieve our goal. And for those data centers where there is some need for a static SSD tier, we can certainly install, again, an enterprise class SSD in every one of these servers, and then also aggregate that. And then that way I could put, for example, maybe my Microsoft SQL databases on it. I could put my maybe my Exchange environment on it and get very, very good performance here. And then for my other environments where maybe that really fast response time isn't as critical, I could just put it on my hard drive tier again. So it gives me a lot of flexibility in pulling that off. So that's really the concept here behind really solving the Hyper-V storage challenges. Now, of course, we're also going to want to solve other things that are common to other data centers. We want this software-defined product to have all the features that we expect, and certainly we expect the reliability as well, and those can be there as well. I'm George Crump, lead analyst with Storage Switzerland. Thank you for joining us.